If you told anyone a month ago that jumping Ajax would have actually been an option for mobbing, whilst consistently hitting well into the 2 million damage mark whilst hitting his jumps, I don't think anyone would have believed you. So let's go on over the jumping Ajax build to be hitting well into the millions, just like this. So for Ajax, it is going to be the traditional jumping Jax build. If you've been using the jumping Ajax build, this is literally no different. This is the exact same jumping Ajax build that you are used to running. The Ajax buff that he got within the Descendant balance update has been truly magnificent, and Ajax has genuinely done so much better, and his jumping build is genuinely much more fun and does way more damage whilst mobbing. So this is the build you're going to want to use on Ajax. Next up for the Reactor. Now for the Reactor, I would recommend having non-attribute tech and then cooldown, or tech and just regular just damage, non-attribute damage even, or skill cost would be good as well. But Ajax is simple as it gets. You want tactical rifle mounting on your weapon, because we are going to be using the Slayer set for damage on Ajax. Now, of course, Slayer set needs to be backed up with the Secret Garden, which is just more overall damage. So that is the combination we use over here. It's going to be the Slayer set on the Ajax. And last but not least, for the Arche tuning, this is what I've gone with. Literally nothing but just raw power and cooldown on Ajax. Touch a HP if you really want it. Ajax, you don't build for crit because he has a 5% crit rate just like Freyna. So this is the tree you're going to want to go with. Simple as it gets for the Ajax build, right? So let's get on into some more of the gameplay. Because I promise you, if you haven't built this Ajax, you're going to want to build him because he's just a ton of fun to play. So let's get on into it. So let's start off with some Sigma Sector gameplay. Now in this gameplay you can see I am running a public Sigma Sector. We've got a Freyna, a Haley and a Blair. Freyna especially is a very strong mobbing descendant, and Blair is also a strong mobbing descendant. Haley can definitely gun down as well. So what do you think jumping Ajax will get in this sort of situation? As you can see here, you can even explode using your third ability onto the actual ships. The main way we are going to be using this Ajax build is primarily going to be jumping around with his second ability and using that as soon as we have access to it, and then also spamming Ajax's third ability. Whichever one you enhance will of course do more damage in the long run, and I do personally think that this is the correct way to play Ajax. Now you can see here, whenever it comes to me walking near any mob, I will just press my third ability and they will just take millions of damage, and because of how fast his third ability cools down, you can honestly get some really good mileage out of this, and especially a lot of damage. Now whichever ability you enhance, if you do hit a crit on this ability, it can well within reach the margin of 2 to 3 million crits. The highest I've seen is a 3.5 million crit, so 3.5 million damage on his second ability in that instance was very good. Same with his third ability, you can just use it and it will just rip everything apart. Now even in this gameplay where we are meant to be objective, you can see Ajax still making rounds. He's still doing tons of damage. Now I would honestly recommend using this Ajax in Sigma Sector if you are looking for a bit of fun. As you can see here, just jumping around using your third ability is just fun upon fun. Now Ajax has had another level of life revitalized within him, and I honestly think that this is one of the greatest builds that you can run. One, just in terms of fun, and two, in terms of just, you know, enjoying the game, being against the meta to an extent, because of course Ajax should not be a mobbing descendant in theory, but I honestly think he is great at mobbing. Is he as good as Bunny, Freyna, or even Ines? Of course not, but for what he is a special descendant, and we all love Ajax. So let me fast forward a little bit more so towards the end of this run, which we are actually getting there now. You can see even against bosses, we still end up doing a very strong amount of damage up against them as well. But let me just skip right towards the end, just so I can show you how much damage I managed to get in this run. Now, I did unfortunately get clipped, so I had to sit here and watch as my teammates took down Pat and Elias, but even in this you can see they're handling it perfectly fine, with the Blair finishing Elias off, but mission complete. How much damage did we get? Bear in mind we have a Freyna in this run, and we still hit 250 million plus damage with Ajax, which is honestly so cool. Ajax is such a strong option for mobbing in a different style, and he is a lot of fun. Would I recommend this Ajax build? Absolutely yes. So let's get on into a little bit more gameplay inside of 400%. Now for 400%, you will see that Ajax is gonna just jump in straight away. You can do a cool tech for a really fast bit of movement with Ajax. What that is using your grapple and then using your melee flick, using a jump after the melee flick, and then using your second ability to go absolutely flying in terms of distance. Now you can see, even in solo, Ajax can absolutely make his rounds. Like I said, he's no bunny, he's no Freyna, he's no Ines, but what he is a lot of goddamn fun. Bunny is also insanely fun, same can be said with Freyna, but I just think Ajax has got such a special charm to him. Like, just jumping in and just ripping everything apart with your second and third ability is so much fun. And even with his HP having well into the region of 10,000 HP, you're not going to be struggling. Even in this gameplay, you can see myself getting frozen by some of the mobs inside of this quarantine zone 400%, and it's not an issue. Ajax will get frozen, but he will still be perfectly fine. And honestly, the range on this jump and on the third ability is very nice. You can see Ajax is more than capable of actually dealing a ton of damage to enemies even that are quite a good chunk of a distance away from him, and the damage is just absolutely beautiful. So, you know, W's in the chat for my boy Ajax. I'm so glad he's come back like this, because he deserves nothing but the best. Now, I hear you ask, what would actually be the main use case for Ajax? If you were to use his tanking build, of course he can tank absolutely anything. However, this jumping build is definitely more for mobbing in my opinion. I just think that this build is going to be used if you just want to have a little bit of fun, relax, kick back, that sort of thing. Anyways, on to the second part of this video, or third part even. Let's talk about how Ajax deals with the bosses. So with bosses, Ajax still will do a ton of damage. You can see I'm even going over here for the kills on these enemies, hitting them beautiful 2.5 millions with Ajax. Anyways, on to the main part, which is bossing. He can deal with mobs really well, so how does he deal with bosses? Even with his third ability, you can see it was taking healthy chunks of damage off the boss, and even though the boss room is usually an absolute mess, you can see Ajax still deals with it very nicely. His enhanced ability is better if you use his third, and I'm probably going to die from the way that I'm playing because I'm just playing with my brain off, but it's still a lot of fun. Ajax will nuke all of these small circles around the boss, and he will still do plenty of damage over to everything. Even with his third ability, when you spam it, it's just going to do great damage around the clock. Jumping in with that, and I thought I could clutch it with that, but I unfortunately couldn't. So, you know, skill issue on my half, but you get the gist anyways. Ajax is a very strong Descendant, even when it comes to mob bossing dungeons and everything else with this build. Anyways, guys, that's basically been this video, and I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. I will be working on some of the other Descendants and getting the builds all up to date, so on and so forth, because the rework on this Descendant balance is just amazing. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!